I've been listening to some of the chatter African American men have been having regarding the MGTOW, or the Men Going Their Own Way movement, and a lot of that chatter is quite disturbing. When I listen to this chatter, it shows me how fragmented and how troubled the African American man is regarding his masculinity and his male identity. Because when I listen to these men talk about the MGTOW movement, they say things such as MGTOW is only a white male movement. And this is not the case at all. We have Japanese men, also known as herbivore men, participating in the Men Going Their Own Way movement. And the reason why they have been doing that is because they saw their fathers pretty much work themselves to death to please women. They saw their fathers literally having their paychecks taken from them in Japan and being given an allowance to spend, and they saw their fathers being emasculated, so they decided to go in a different direction. And I myself, who have been living this lifestyle even before it was coined a MGTOW lifestyle, have participated in this lifestyle for many years. So I understand that this is not a white male movement. This is a movement about reclaiming men's masculinity, men's redefining their male identity, and men working to put themselves first and to actualize their potential. That is what MGTOW is all about. MGTOW is not about race, it is about men reclaiming their masculinity and taking it in their own direction. Instead of following a traditional direction where they follow this pattern, lifestyle paradigm that pretty much lives towards pleasing and appeasing females, it is about men focusing on themselves, men putting themselves first, and men focusing on what they want to do in life and pleasing themselves. That is what MGTOW is all about. Now, I hear another statement from African American men regarding MGTOW, and this one statement is that not only is it about MGTOW being about white men, it's about men who can't get any women. Now, this statement right here shows me the feminine way of thinking many African American men have regarding life in general. Because when you look at most African American men, they live for women, they live to please women, they live to make women happy. And they think that because a man does not have a woman, there is something wrong with him. This is something I have seen in my life since I was 12 years old, and it shows me clearly how matriarchal and way of thinking many African American men are from birth, because this is the way they think. They have to live to get a woman. Well, a MGTOW, for the most part, doesn't live for women. Whether he gets a woman or does not have a woman, that's not an issue to him. A MGTOW is like this: he's going his own way, he's doing his own thing, he's putting himself first, and when he hears a statement like that, he looks at it and says, this is a shaming tactic to try to devalue me as a man. It has nothing to do with the argument being presented about a man going his own way. Whether or not a man can get a woman really does not mean anything to a MGTOW, because a MGTOW pretty much is not looking to win the approval or favor of women. And that's pretty much what a man going his own way is. He's about, again, pleasing himself, working towards his goals, and actualizing his potential. And another thing that I hear a lot of black men talking about MGTOW is that um, it's a movement that is a racist movement. Again, I don't see where it is a racist movement. Again, a MGTOW movement means men are going their own way, men are doing their own thing. So if a man wants to go his own way, he can go his own way with a group of black men, or he can go his own way with a group of white men. It's about the man choosing what he wants out of life, the man doing what he wants to do first, and the man working on to live the life that he wants to live on his time and his terms. And this is what people need to focus upon regarding the MGTOW, or the Men Going Their Own Way movement. Men these days, the whole thing of that when these men in the MGTOW movement talk about MGTOW is they need to be focusing on that. Those are the most positive aspects of the men going the wrong way movement. And that is that man focusing on himself, making his needs a priority, working on the goals that he wants to work on, and working to achieve what he wants to achieve in life. Now, the other thing I hear about in the MGTOW movement is that um, what black men getting upset because these guys talk about women a lot in their videos. And they really don't understand the context that these men are talking about when they talk about women. You see, when they talk about women, it is from an educational context so that these males out here, especially the young guys, can understand female nature. Because a lot of these guys are growing up in these matriarchal households and a matriarchal mindset in this gynocentric society, and they're learning all about pleasing and appeasing women. And the whole point of those videos and those blogs are to educate men about female nature so they can understand how all this women chasing is working to their detriment. This is something I learned on my own growing up in the South Bronx by just watching and studying women. But a lot of guys, they never got that social education. And because they didn't get that social education, they're following a life paradigm that is self destructive. So, those guys out there who are doing those videos talking about women are trying to get these guys to understand that no amount of money you spend on her is going to please her. No amount of effort you make to try to chase her is going to please her. Yes, she loves the attention, but you are losing things that are valuable to you. It's like your intangibles of manhood, such as your dignity, your self-respect, and your self-worth. Moreover, you're losing time, and time is a precious asset that you cannot get back. So every second you spend chasing a woman is time that you could actually spend focusing on the goals you want to pursue in life and the things you want to achieve, because every second you spend with her is going to prevent you from achieving what you want to achieve. So when I listen to those guys talking about women, again, that's an educational component to teach a lot of men, because a lot of men are growing up again in these households with these single mothers, especially in the black community, and they're learning a culture that tells them that everything they have to do is towards making women happy, pleasing women, appeasing women, chasing women, and making a woman the center of their attention when they need to be making themselves the center of their own attention, because the only person who's going to help you actualize your potential is you. The only person who's going to help you achieve your goals is you. And this is something that a message that black men need to hear more than anything, because everything that I've seen in the black community over the 42 years I have lived, every man pretty much is living towards making these women happy, chasing these women, winning the approval of women. And that all comes from the household that they grew up in with this single mother. They believe that every woman is just like their mother, and they have to make the woman the center of their world, when in actuality, you were made the head by God, and you're supposed to be focused on what you want to do and what you need to do. And this is something that many black men just never learn at an early age. So they sit there and they'll look at a man going his own way. They'll think that he is strange. They'll think he is weird. They'll think he is odd. And they'll take that concept and say, that's a white male concept. And it's not a white male concept. The whole concept of a man going his own way is actually a man actually going God's way, which is, again, focusing on making himself the head, making himself a leader, and focusing on what he wants to do and actualizing his potential. I know I keep repeating those statements, but I want people to really get this, because the men going their own way movement has nothing to do with race, and it has nothing to do with angry white guys sitting in a room angry because they can't get certain women. Again, a man who's going his own way, like myself, just doesn't care about women. He's focused on what he wants to do. He's focused on his goals. And he could give less than a crap about any of these females or getting any of these females. And guys who talk like that really show you how they're stuck in a matriarchal way of thinking regarding men and a feminine mindset, because men don't live to win the approval. Don't winning Getting women is not an important thing to a man going his own way. Important thing to a man going his own way is when he sets that goal that he wants to achieve in life, and he accomplishes that goal that he wants to achieve in life. And once he does that, he pretty much will focus on other things like trying to mentor other men, trying to teach other men, and trying to get them to understand that when you're going your own way, you're going to do what you feel is best for yourself, not about making other people happy. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.